Lionel Messi scores a hat trick at 39 years of age, none of those goals from the penalty spot. Harry Kane, Mbappe, and Holland scoring a brace each for their respective nations, too. The World Cup is well and truly on. I'm joined by Namo Piran and Safin Vise. How are you guys?
Could be better.
Couldn't be better.
Yeah. Namo, I understand that Safin, for him, the World Cup started right away because of Canada, because of the World Cup happening in his backyard. But for us, for me especially, up until France's second half, it felt very slow and sluggish. And then we saw a brace from Mbappe, a brace from Erling Haaland, and Messi topped it off with a hat trick against Algeria. 16th of June, that was the time when it felt for me that World Cup has truly kicked off.
I mean, like we all grew up watching those stars shine at the highest stage at the World Cup.
You grew up watching Haaland.
No,
He's younger than you.
no, we grew up watching Mbappe. We grew up watching Messi. We grew up watching Ronaldo not playing really well at the World Cup. So that was like, yeah, okay, sorry. So yeah, it felt good to see Messi does it at, yeah, really, 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 really impressive level, 39 years of old. And Mbappe being back to what he does best is scoring goals. So Holland for the first time arriving and scoring a brace, amazing feeling. It's good to have those stars back and shining.
Safin, it didn't go that well for Portugal in the first game. It didn't go that well for Ronaldo. Would you call them the biggest flops of the first round?
No, not at all. I think
Amongst the best nations, I mean, amongst the top contenders.
if you're looking solely at results, like the result they left with, it'd be Spain and Portugal for sure. No
But if I
doubt.
remember correctly, Spain were not even in your top five, so you didn't rank them that highly, anyways. And
I
Portugal,
genuinely think Portugal after like this is gonna be an Argentina story of 2022. First game is gonna be sloppy, and then wait for the rest of the games. It's all wins from here.
Amo, that was Spain's game was the biggest upset. Of course, that's not no other game is even close to being a big as upset as that one. But who do you think out of those two nations performed worse or looked less impressive going
I think,
forward to the next games?
I mean, like, speaking of Argentinian performance and the Spanish 2010, those two teams had really decent matches. They lost because of the other teams took their chances and they didn't. So I would say that this is a very inaccurate comparison because Portugal was all over the place. You didn't know who does what, to what purpose, and who is playing where. The team wasn't, when on the paper, the names, you couldn't imagine any better team. But just as the way I predicted, this team doesn't click because the guy there, their coach Martinez, is not brave enough to take bold decisions, and he is the guy that actually follows the orders from Ronaldo rather than what he thinks should be done. The team didn't click. Spain at least had chances. Spain could have scored. They didn't take their chances. They hit the post. They hit the bar. But Portugal, the only game plan they had, I told you guys as well, very predictable. Go to the sides, cross the ball, hope that Ronaldo would score. And it was like what mattered to them the most was like to get Ronaldo on the score line rather than playing football. No one was trying to create anything. Like those midfielders, you should expect much more from them. But what the game plan was what? Let's go to the sides, cross the ball, and hope for the best.
Do
Did
you
we
agree with
watch the
that,
same
Safin?
game? I don't think we watched the same game. First of all, let's get something very straight. If you watched Portugal versus Congo yesterday, that's when the game happened. Ronaldo had nothing to do with that loss whatsoever. You have the best midfielder in the world, I'd say arguably Vitinha. You have Premier League Player of the Month, Bruno Fernandes, Player of the Year, sorry, Bruno. You have João Neves right behind. They couldn't create anything whatsoever. Vitinha was not at his best. I didn't even see Bruno for 80 minutes of soccer. If one of you is to come into this chat right now and tell me that Bruno did something yesterday, I'd laugh at you. A 41
But
year old
Safin,
Ronaldo,
do you think
yes,
it's midfield's fault, or do you think it's the fault of the manager Roberto Martinez? Is his
I
tactics?
it 100% something to do with tactics. If you watch the game, all that would happen was the midfielders would pass one side to the other, maybe hit a center back, go back. And I honestly think that there was a lot of chances to cross the ball, which they didn't. They just chose to recycle and go back around. So I don't know what football match you were watching where you saw constant crossing to Ronaldo. I saw Ronaldo get the ball twice with a good chance, semi good chance in front of goal, and he missed, sure. But you're also not going to rely on a 41-year-old striker to do things when you're surrounded by 10 other arguably superstars,
But
8 or 9.
do those tactics have anything to do with the choice of players the coach is going with? For example, if he has someone else like a Joao Felix playing as a false nine, can they play a bit more fluent football?
No, no, I don't think so. That it would do anything because at the end of the day, if you're not getting the best out of Bruno, if you're not getting the best out of Vitinha, if Nuno Mendes isn't taking defenders on when he's attacking, these are game-changing players. I don't think you replacing Ronaldo with Joao Felix will do anything. They tried it last World Cup. They put Ronaldo on the bench versus Morocco. They did try it. What happened?
The last World Cup,
Nothing.
I remember Gonzalo Ramos scoring a hat trick in one of the
Yes,
games when Ronaldo was
one
benched.
game, sure, 100. And if you don't play Ronaldo for the next 50 games, of course there will be one or two players who will get a hat trick. It's the nature of soccer. You have your moments.
This is one of the problem I have with Ronaldo fan. They almost are like flat Earth conspiracy theorists. Those people. Ronaldo fan are almost approaching that level. You see, the guy's 41 years old. We are talking about the highest level of football. He surely can score many goals in Saudis. He will do the same in MLS. He will do in all second-rated leagues on earth at this age as well. But he can't perform at the highest level of football because he's 41 years old.
Like,
That's the point.
They're
A
not
is it
giving
guy,
is
him
it
at,
because
goals.
of him? Is it because of
you know,
Ronaldo? Like just this yesterday's result, will you put that on Ronaldo? Or like that is one of the games where you can't play him that much.
the problem with Portugal is like they always get through the European football actually overall. It's like easy qualification matches. Ronaldo banks 10 goals, 15 goals, thinking, and then the Portuguese side thinks that the World Cup is going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. You're not going to play Gibraltar or
I
Malta
mean, I
all the
mean,
time.
Congo
So
are a lot worse side than some of the sides they played in the qualification. To be honest,
We
but you
took
see
Bakambu.
the level when you come at the World Cup, those teams play their best football. All the sides, Cape Verde, we watched Cape Verde, we watched New Zealand, we watched all the other side, we watched South Korea. These players, this is the highest level of football. They all perform at the highest level. They put in, they chip in all they can. So you're not gonna expect a 40 years old guy to come there and overrun others or be able to perform at a level that matches, other teams. I mean, with all due respect, he's one of the greatest. But if you want, and the problem with Ramos in the last World Cup, you see, you put the guy in one match there, he scores a hat trick, and then the next game he doesn't score. This is a very wrong approach because if you want to rebuild your team, you're not gonna just judge the guy by one game. Give the guy 2 3 years of playing with others, getting in touch like with the rhythm of the team. And in my opinion, Ronaldo, his insistence in playing for Portugal has hold Portugal back, and he has not led Portuguese side. This is the golden generation they have, and I think
but
it's
would
just
you would you
unfair to them that they have to stick with Ronaldo, and they don't dare. I watched some commentators. Even if you put him on the bench, that's a problem. You play him, that's another problem. Because we have come to a stage. I watched Modric, he took him off at 45 minutes. Nothing happened. Because Modric has accepted the reality. He's 40 years old. He cannot play for 90 minutes. But you can't sub Ronaldo at 45 minutes because you're going to have problems.
Do you think
No,
they
yeah.
should play with Gonzalo Ramos or João Felix? Would you, if you were Roberto Martinez, would you go with either of those two options, or which one do you
You,
prefer?
you see, if I was there, if I was him, first of all, I wouldn't put four midfielders that they all almost look like each other. You don't need Silva, Bruno, Vitinha, and Neves all there. Because these players all are the same kind of players. Bruno was all over the place because he was out of his position. He is the one that creates. But when you put Silva right next to him, when you put Vitinha right next to him, who is going to do what? These guys are good at passing the ball, but these guys, they need their own space. So they ran into each other's space, and I definitely would put Ronaldo on the bench if I was the Portuguese coach, and I would bring him on in the last minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes to go, because he can score, and because at that stage of the game, players will be tired and he will have more freedom and more chances to score, to have impact on the game.
Do you think,
Impact on
Safin,
the
that.
game.
Yep, go on.
Yeah.
I was going to ask that Roberto Martinez, he failed, sort of failed with the generational talent in Belgium. Do you think it was a wise choice to have him and have him for so long at Portugal? Shouldn't you have gone with some better world class manager?
I don't think his appointment, I don't think it's a superstar manager whatsoever. I honestly would not even put him in my top
20.
10 managers at the World Cup. He's not making that list for sure.
Yeah.
And then another thing as well, now that we're talking about impact, did you see the movement leading up to Joao Neves' goal? The chat can replay the goal right now. Ronaldo is someone who's in the box, gets massive attention that frees up other players. If you look at the goal, both of the defenders were so worried about Ronaldo that Joao Neves had a wide open header. This is impact. If you put Gonzalo Ramos there, trust me, nobody's worrying about if he has two men on him or not. But Ronaldo's someone who has that impact. And another thing is, you mentioned the midfield of Portugal not work, which I agree. I do not think four midfielders that have attacking traits should be playing at the same time. That has nothing to do with Ronaldo, though, whatsoever. Your points on why they lost have no connection to Ronaldo being on the bench or not. If your midfield can't create, you're not going to win. It's that simple. It has nothing.
Right,
You can have a random person at striker. It's not going to do anything.
let's move from the 41-year-old Ronaldo to 39-year-old Messi. Now it feels like you use age against Ronaldo a lot, but you don't use the same standards when it comes to Messi. You want him to play whenever he can.
That was my exact argument, and I repeat it again. Whenever he can, not whenever he wants or he should.
But
There is
really,
Messi.
because there is nothing without him in that game, Argentina would have been like lost. Like he was the only one who had any, talking about impact. He was the only one, and also like talking about tactics. Some people say that Argentinian players are the same. They just want to pass it to Messi. They have only one tactic: pass it to Messi and hope for the best.
You see, Messi is a player that makes player around him better. Messi is a midfielder, and he is the one that can transition the game for you. He has an impact on all aspects of the game. And as long as this guy can deliver the way he did against Algeria, there is no reason for me to say that no, he should be on the bench. The guy did his job. He had a super performance. The guy made the players play better. You know, he's at this age. If it works, if it clicks, if he can play, if he can score, if he can create chances, you know, the Messi thing. It wasn't just about the goals he scored. He opened up the space. He created chances. He had a lot of through passes. You know, he Martinez could have scored with Messi's through pass, and so and he was at the defending side of the pitch, and then he was at the striker side. He doesn't run. He doesn't have the capacity to run and to pressure like all the minutes, but the other players do the job for him. And his job is not like, you know, standing right in the box waiting for the ball. He takes the ball and brings it there.
Safin, what are your thoughts about the Argentina game? Because you didn't rate them at all before the World Cup. Has it changed your mind a little bit?
Nope, I still stick. I said it in the video as well. They're making it out of the group, no doubt. First or second round, though, airplane back to Buenos Aires.
Why is that? Why didn't they give you any kind of confidence from the first game?
One, you're going up against Algeria, and let's not get it wrong here. If Portugal was to beat Congo 3-0, I wouldn't see them highly as I did before. Like these are games that you should be smashing your opponent. It's nothing out of the ordinary to me when I look at the
Now, does
scoreline.
it concern you? Does it concern you that even at this point, Messi is sort of carrying the team when actually some other players should step up?
I have followed Argentina for many years, and the past 2, 3 years there have been many matches that Messi has not played, especially against Brazil. For me, they beat Brazil 4-1, and then they in the final of Copa America, Messi got injured, and they won the match. So this Argentinian side, I told you also guys before, they know how to get the job done, and they know how to get the results with or without Messi. With Messi, it's like they have many more ways of getting the job done. They have many more opportunities and possibilities, but without him, they also still are capable of doing the job.
So God forbid he gets injured, you'll still back Argentina against most teams to get the job done.
Depend, because right now,
You're contradicting
if
yourself.
yeah, because right now, if they if France, the way they played in the second half, without Messi, Argentina has zero chance to beat that France. Or if other teams, like so far, France has been, they impressed me in the second half, and yeah, so far actually we just have those two teams.
All right.
But if they go against top teams without Messi, their job will be much tougher.
Which team impressed you the most, Safin, apart from Argentina?
Well, what I will say is Argentina didn't impress me. Let's just get that out
And I
of the
was,
way. But the team that did impress me the most was, believe it or not, I'm picky here, but France's second half.
yeah,
That spell, that Olise and Bot, they had something clicking in the second half,
yeah.
and I genuinely think that's gonna cause a lot of problems for many teams.
And I was looking at the team, and I was like reflecting back on your statement about egos, and I was in complete disagreement because those players, Dembele and Olise, they look like very humble characters. They don't look like the players who want the spotlight or who want like everything to be about them. So I think apart from Mbappe, actually, the whole French squad looks like a squad with not that many egos in there. So yeah, they impressed me a lot as well. They look like a team that if they can get their act together, they're going to be the team to beat.
I think what is like the most impressive about France is the fact that the coach decides where the players play and how they play. Like in the first half, there was no clicking. The midfield was all over the place. And then in the second half, he brought Elise to the midfield and moved Dembele on wide. And it worked. It was like a few moments of magic. And Olise actually, he was playing at Crystal Palace like as sort of midfielder, winger midfielder kind. So far, it worked. He was there. He delivered the passes, and they were really sharp. Like, and Mbappe was at his best. And I would never on earth bet against Mbappe when he is in form.
Germany, what about them? Do you guys also think that it's just Curacao and move on and let's see what they can do against a better team?
No, I honestly, I kind of forgot about that, but Germany honestly earned massive amount of respect. I don't think just because it's Curacao, like I think that scoring 7 goals in the World Cup, regardless of who your opponent is, I think that means you're not playing around.
It always means more if you score against Brazil. Those 7 goals, of course, but they
Yeah,
were a team with style. I could see some like system. The players knew where they are playing, what they are doing, and they are very young squad. And if the midfielder and Mecha Pavlovic, they keep performing and delivering the way they did, and Wirtz was like nothing like we have seen at Liverpool. Whenever he puts the German jersey on, he's just amazing. So I think Germans they look solid to me.
Okay, let's go towards my pick, England. They played yesterday, scored 4 goals.
Oh,
Jude Bellingham on the score sheet, Marcus Rashford on the score sheet, Harry Kane with the brace. How? What did you guys think of that game?
amazing. I think that England as well, as Noel mentioned, with Germany, I think they're similar in the sense of every player knows their role, and they're honestly really good at it. They got ended up getting the job done to go up and get it tied up twice in a game, 1-0, 1-1, 2-0, whatever. I think it shows a lot of resilience.
Was that the match
And
of the tournament for?
Harry Kane
Yeah,
has a point for the Ballon d'Or. He
if he
is
wins the World Cup,
something else
yeah.
right now. I honestly think if he makes a good run at the World Cup, he should be up there for sure.
I mean, if he loses both the Champions League and the World Cup, then he is not going to get it.
If he
But
makes it to the final, and let's say the other contestants get out early, I think he has a shout.
yeah, if he
FIFA's made
also
it obvious
wins,
that the World Cup is all that matters. FIFA's done a very good job at that. Not FIFA,
he's
the
done. He's
Ballon
done
d'Or.
very well at the club level as well. 61 goals in the season, so of course he's up
Exactly,
there.
yeah. He
Now, do
has a
you think
point.
that was the game of the tournament so far? England Croatia?
I mean, as a Messi fan, I wouldn't say that because
No,
the
no.
game
In
of
terms of
tournament.
like both, in terms of two teams going at each other, back and forth, scoring goals,
I mean,
6 goals
like
in the game.
England outplayed Croatia, especially in the
Yeah.
second half, and overall they were better side. So, in the sense that we watched a game where we saw a contender, a real contender, and especially what I was amazed with, it was their midfield. Anderson and Rice, they really clicked.
Yeah, Elliot
Anderson,
Anderson.
Anderson.
Anderson, yeah.
Anderson, yes,
Anderson, yeah.
Anderson, yeah, that guy. You see, he is not a big player, or he's not someone that we all look at him and we just shouting, "Oh, wow, he's playing. Let's go and watch him."
Oh,
But
he's
he,
actually getting linked to huge clubs now. Before the
yes,
World Cup
but
even. Yeah.
yeah, but he makes them click. He does what should be done. I saw him at the last minutes of the game. He was still making those runs. He was still pressing. He was doing all the job that needs to be done in midfield in order for a team to win the matches. So I'm really amazed and I'm really impressed by them. They didn't go down. They came back at Croatia with all they got, and they have also a really good bench. You know, like Rashford coming in instead of Gordon. I actually think that Rashford should have started instead of him, maybe. So this team is can go places.
Yeah, I told you guys it's coming home. You laughed at me. Let's see who laughs at the end. Talking about the aging squad, Brazil. They all also probably up there with one of the worst performers amongst top nations. But then again, they were playing against Morocco, which is no pushover, anyways. Are we going to see them top the group still? Do you think? Like they have Scotland and Haiti, but Morocco has the games against those two sides as well. Who do you think is going to score more goals against those sides to end up topping the group?
I think Brazil. I honestly think Brazil, with all the weaknesses they may have or whatever's not clicking, I think when you get the best of Rafinha, Vini, and Igor Thiago, I think there's a lot of goals there.
But will they be able to compete against McTominay and McKinn?
Yes, the Scots won't like this one.
And
What do you think
well,
now?
I think they might have a chance, and I still back them to top the group, but not if Thiago is going to start. You know, he's not the kind of guy that would get you the goals. He's not that level of. He is not Brazilian level of football. I would play
He's
Cunha or Hendrick
second top
any day.
scorer in the biggest league in the world.
Yes, and he played
At
for
Brentford.
Brentford. You know, he's
I mean,
not.
so did
Yes,
so did Elise for Crystal Palace last year. I mean,
Yes, but Olise now plays for Bayern, and his level has really he has risen in the
Risen,
level,
yeah, yeah.
and yeah, and Premier League, you can be top scorer. You can score many goals, even if you're not like that quick of a player, that let's say top players.
You're
So
dissing Ronaldo.
no, I'm not. No,
Yes, you
Ronaldo.
are.
Ronaldo is playing in Saudis, and he scores there. He will score there without any doubt. He's still better than many players there, but
Would you
just in
take
Saudis.
Ronaldo over Igor Thiago if he was available for Brazil? Who would we put in as the number 9 position? Igor Thiago or Cristiano Ronaldo?
I would go with Thiago.
All right.
But you
Yes,
wouldn't start him. So you're telling me that Ronaldo doesn't even make the 26-man squad for Brazil is what you're trying to tell me right now.
at this moment, if you pick based on quality, present quality, no. But if you pick them based on names,
History.
yes,
Yeah.
he makes it. Names and history, yes,
All
he will
right.
make it.
Talking about the individuals, who was, apart from the obvious answer, apart from Lionel Messi, who was the someone else who impressed you the most on an individual level?
I would go with Mbappe. That guy showed up when it mattered, like usually he does for France. He really was there. And Harry Kane, he was also really. He wasn't just scoring goals. He was like everywhere. He
He
basically
was also
does.
defending.
Yes, he
He's
defends. He
blocking
scores
shots.
goals.
Yeah,
Yeah, and sometimes he does it. He does it too much. Like or
yeah,
you
yeah.
shouldn't do that much. Okay, you shouldn't be
Yes.
everywhere.
That is
He
my only
was.
criticism of him. Sometimes just leave that to your teammates and just trust them, trust the process, and stay up.
Yes, exactly. But I would
Any
say
others?
this: the
So,
Olise.
sure, sure.
Olise was awesome. Olise was also awesome. Like
Yeah.
this. Yeah, I would say these
Are you
three.
still picking Yamal over Elise for this World Cup?
If he starts playing the way he does, of course.
I think Jude Bellingham, to add on to that
Hmm.
list, played really well as well. Works really well with England. What I noticed, like
Yeah.
Kane, he's everywhere. But whenever like he's like Jude Bellingham's the one making those inward runs. So it works.
What about smaller nations, apart from like Cape Verde getting a result against Spain and parking the bus? I was really impressed, very, very surprised actually, with Egypt, the way they played against Belgium. They had many, many chances to score lots more goals, and Marmouche had lots of chances. And the goal they scored as well, beating Thibaut Courtois from outside the box, probably the best goal of the World Cup so far. What did you make of Egypt or some other smaller nations?
I was quite impressed with the US. They played good football. They have a system. It's like everyone knows what to do, and they play as a team. Then I was quite impressed also by Japan, their mentality, more than actually single players. It's like at this stage, I don't think so. They back down, and the list is getting
What
long.
about
But
Sweden? 5-1
yes,
beating,
I was
I mean,
actually going just
Tunisia.
there.
Yeah.
I was just going there. Sweden and Morocco. These two would be also the teams that have impressed me so far. But top of it is Morocco.
And what about an individual that has really, really underperformed? Let's not talk about Ronaldo because, as Safin said, maybe it's not his fault, not kidding. But some other individual that you looked at and think that, oh, I expected a bit more from him, but it will come in the future games.
I'm gonna say something. I know that all Ronaldo fans are gonna take it wrong, but let me still say it. I think he himself and us, we are being too unfair to the guy. We expecting him at 41 to start and shine at the highest level, which physically is not possible. It's not fair to him. He should not be put in that position where he has to prove that he is as good as Mbappe at this age. He was an amazing player, but I just think that we shouldn't expect that much from him at this age, at this stage. Anyhow, and going back to other players that really, I would say Pedri didn't create much. I was expecting more from Pedri. He usually does better with Spain. This time around, he wasn't like really the Pedri of Barcelona or Pedri of Spain that I know.
I'm Canada fan first, obviously, and Jonathan David really disappointed me against Bosnia. He's one name in that national team that we expect a lot of goals from, and I think his first game was really, really underperformed.
Safin, out of the top nations that we've seen so far, which one of them is not going to top their group? If you have to pick one. So far, like Spain, Brazil, Portugal. Out of those three, do you think all of them will still topping their group?
I still back them all to top their group, yeah, because I think that Portugal get that result versus Colombia to put them on 7 points.
Okay.
Speaking of Colombia, they really impressed me.
Luis
Yeah.
He
Diaz
Do you
played
has,
think they
very
can
well.
top the
yeah,
group?
I think they easily can beat Portugal if Portugal plays the same way they did, in the
All
same
right.
way and the same style. They have no chance against Colombia, especially the intensity, the passion, the style they have. It's
Perfect. Let's end today's chat and come back to it in a couple of days' time and see where we stand. Thanks a lot again for everyone watching as well. We had one of our Facebook reels that went viral with more than 100K views and 1K plus likes. Thanks a lot. Keep supporting the channel and bye bye.